Welcome to Channel AMAC, your insight to the Australian visa system. Good day everyone, my name is Carl Yang, your online YouTube visa consultant. Are you interested about migrating to Australia? Why don't you consider to subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell on the side, so once about all the updates and news, you'll be the first one getting all the insight. Alright, today's I would like to discuss a topic that has been surrounded for some times. It's about the 485 visa with the age eligibility to be dropped from 50 years of age down to 35. Now that really concerns a lot of people, especially a lot of people that are already studying in Australia, and also the upcoming students, international students wanted to come to Australia, despite that there has been a huge numbers of refusals going on for the past few months and currently. However, the interest is still there. But now, first thing I would like to say is obviously we have seen the news, and also we have seen the migration strategy report, whereby they have indicated that they will, under the new policy, as you can see, the maximum eligibility of the international student to get temporary graduate work visa will reduce from 50 to 35 years of age. So that obviously has been out there. However, of my reasonable belief and predictions, there is still possibility that these changes, well, obviously they will take the changes, but the effect of the changes and the tunings, for example, if you want to study master by research or PhD, you still only be restricted to apply the temporary graduate work visa for age under 35, which I don't think there will be much of interest out there. And there has been a lot of complaints and inputs. No, not complaint, let's put input, it's more positive, right? From the international education and universities, forwarded into the Department of Home Affairs and Immigrations. And plus, what about the current students? You know, you cannot just, they came with expectations that they will have those work rights after they graduate. Now you're telling them to go away. So I think there will be a grandfathering law or policies there as well. So not a concrete policy as what we have foreseen in the past few months. Obviously that worries everybody. Now today's topic I would really like to talk about, what if they really continuing to put that 35 years of age restriction on the 485 visa applicants after July. So what can you do? Now there's a twitch there, there's a numbers of options can be done, but not 100%. However, I would also like to say the reason I also believe the changes will take effect, is proposed, should I say, is due to that they have foresee with the foreseeable future that the numbers of international students coming into Australia. Now, remember in the old days, okay, back 10-20 years ago, if you come and study in Australia, and it's you're highly you get the high rankings or opportunity to continue to stay and become permanent resident. And if we compare to the numbers of people coming, numbers of internationals coming into Australia 20 years ago, for example, back in 2000 or 1995 or 2000, early 2000s, and today's figures, you'll notice that the numbers of international students allowed to stay and migrate, the ratio is much more than what we have today. Now, what changes? Now, obviously, international education sector in Australia has been booming for the last 20-30 years. So they have unlimitedly attract more and more and more and more students into Australia, and now become the second largest international education providing nations worldwide, just right before USA. So obviously you cannot cater all these international students. For example, we have seen some report there were about 300,000 international students arrive solely for the last 6 months or so. Now, obviously you cannot cater all these international students and allow them to become skilled migrants, because the quota of skill migration every year for these sectors is only about 50 to 60,000 max. You cannot actually put more than that. So having a restriction on potential international graduates to have a work right under the age of 35, I think over the past few months, I think it's the right thing to do. So you actually restrict these international students towards a certain point where you can almost guarantee a certain percentage of international graduate they can actually become permanent resident. Now, isn't that what the actual strategy should be? I understand the debate has actually deviated in every other directions. Now, obviously, it's because what has been caused in the past 20 years is now in a state of uncontrollable status. That's where the government is coming into putting on enforcing on a policy or regulation to control this. Anyhow, let's talk about how one, or that maybe you want to come to Australia and study if you are over the age of 35, or within the 2 years of study your age will be over 35, what you can actually do. Now, there's to be honest, there's not much options that's out there, apart from if you wanted to really come to Australia and study with that sort of age group. I would really suggest that you really have to get your skill assessment done first, because obviously if you're in that age, you probably have already got some sort of qualification and some sort of work experiences. So you would like to get your skill assessment done first, and also your IELTS. That's pretty obvious. So whilst you come into Australia to continue your study, potentially in, for example, master course, that's enhancement of your career and professions, you may also access to potential employer and transfer yourself into a temporary skill shortage visa applicants right after graduating. Or I don't recommend during student visa period, because that will actually that will be a little bit awkward, but you may want to do it towards the end of your, or right before your completion of on graduation of your qualification. So if you have that hold it in your hand, it will be handy for you to transfer into a work-related temporary skill shortage visa. That will be renamed to be skills in demand visa. So that will be the one way to go. The other way is obviously then you can access to subclass 407 training visa. It still requires an employer to actually nominate and sponsor you under a training plan. Now, you may query what's the difference between 482 and 407. They both require an employer to sponsor. Now, 482, the only thing the mark has been set for the salary level is required to be 70,000 or above. So in fact, there are not many Australian employer will like to start employment with that sort of rate. No, not until probably another 1 or 2 years to go for all the inflation to go up. Then your option will be 407, because there is no set salary level for the subclass 407, because it's technically a training visa, because and it should really relate to education. So whatever that you have studied qualification in Australia, and you may seek for training visa for the similar occupation or skill set of the employer to provide you further enhancement of your skills. And these skills can include all type of different knowledges and discipline. So then obviously, because it's training, so you don't have to pay the full salary fees, and it can be 50,000 or whatever the fee, whatever the salary rate that the employer is happy to provide, and it can continue to sit there for about 2 years. And once you hit that 2 years of work experiences, then you can transfer into 482 visa afterwards, or perhaps another skill migration pathway. So that will be a little of information for you if the 35 years of age policy is to go ahead. And what can you do if you are 33, if you're 34, or you're already 35? You still want to come to Australia to, to enhance your qualification or career, and that probably will be the only way left if there's no other new law will be introduced anyway. Should you have more question, query, more than welcome to leave comment right down below, and I'll see you next video. Goodbye.